name is Brittany Boscana. We're here at the Real LLC. This is my brother, Jason Reisman. And this is our guest today, AJ.
How's it going, guys?
I'm super excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here.
So can you tell a little bit about how...
Yeah, my name's AJ, guys. I'm from Maui, Hawaii. I'm 24 years old, and I own a food truck out here in Central Florida. But I've been out here for about a year, almost going into a year and a half, and I love it. It's amazing.
So I saw y'all's post on Facebook one day, and I had like nothing to do. It was a Sunday, so I drove down and found you, and I thought your food was incredible. So I said, I got a place to put a food truck, and I'd like to have lunch more often.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you reaching out to us really opened up the door in crazy ways. It out here in this small town, I want to say like Tavares, Lake County, everybody's very, very connected. So her reaching out to us kind of opened up the door for advertising a lot for our business. We had a lot more clientele being out here than we did really in the Central Florida area. But I love it out here, and we're very thankful for everything you guys did for us.
Yeah, we even had you guys cater our grand opening for our second location in Fruitland Park.
Yes, that was super exciting. We had no idea where we were going. We found the spot, and we were impressed. We love it, absolutely. It's right off the highway, guys. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we fed a lot of people that day. We weren't expecting that big of a crowd, and you guys were really excellent in meeting that need, and we really appreciate that. But not only that, it was good food.
Thank you.
And again, I can't put the emphasis on the connections and the people. And you know, maybe more connections for you guys too, but even for us, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, in any industry that I get into, or any type of situation I get into, whether it be a social gathering, whether it be a professional gathering, I try to ask myself, how can I make a bigger connection? You know, how can I grow this relationship? And you guys alone have opened up the doors for us so much. You know, Brittany herself, she's helped us out so much. I needed a place for my food truck. She got us. You know, I needed to move it out of the way. She had storage, you know. Today, she offered me to be on the podcast. That was an absolutely blessing. So we're just happy to be here.
What is your biggest challenge with a food truck? Like, what's your number one challenge you got to face?
I think the biggest challenge would really be staying connected with the community. You know, you really have to be constantly advertising and constantly talking with the people, hearing what they're saying, you know, because if you got one thing going on and people want something different, you got to listen to them. You got to remember that all these people are the ones that are putting money in your pocket, putting money in your business, you know, feeding your employees. So as a boss, you know, sometimes people are like, hey, you know, what are you doing for your business? And I try to listen to what my customers are saying so that I can adjust myself and feed that need, you know. So it's definitely just listening. You got to listen. Sometimes you go with what you want to do, but if you're listening to what they have to say, that's going to help out a lot, for sure.
Now you're driving all the way from Kissimmee to Tavares.
So actually, we're based out of Davenport. You know, we live in Davenport, Florida, and we were living in the Millenia area, Orlando, and that was great and everything, but the traffic is crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, just alone driving from Orlando to here is about 45 minutes. Now we're a little bit extra, so it's about an hour. But we try to make it work. You know, like I said, this community is really tight and really connected. So, you know, I like to go where the community is kind of active together. I'm from Maui, Hawaii, so we admire that connection. You know, working with people is just what I like.
How did you start the food truck?
It was all by accident. When I moved here, it was more like, what do I want to do? How can I make some income? And I started doing auto detailing, and I was like, you know what? It is too hot for that. Let me figure out something different. You know, my family actually has a history of roofing, and I was like, you know what? The roofs out here in Orlando are a little bit different than they are back home in Portland, Oregon. You know, so we were like, how can we get more connected with the community? And my father had this great idea. He's like, why don't you go back to our roots? And that's food, the food industry. I worked in the food industry for 5+ years. I didn't absolutely love it because it was hot. You know, I really like the fine dining and all that aspect of the restaurant industry. And I was like, how can I make this really blow up, and how can I make it great? You know, personally for me, any business that I get into, I try to grow it as big as I can. So I was just like, he was like, you know what? Why don't you start doing the agua frescas? If you guys don't know what that is, agua frescas just translates to fresh waters. People call it spa waters. It's just flavored drinks. And these flavored drinks are very, very popular. So we decided to do it. We started going to car meets, and these car meets were doing great and everything. People would come out and really support us like crazy. We're like, okay, well, they're drinking, staying hydrated. How can we introduce some food? So we started doing our famous tacos that are called birria tacos. Everybody loves those. Everybody goes crazy over those. They're famous all over the world. So people were like, you know what? We want those. And we started really blowing up with that. So that's how we started our food truck.
Speaking of connections, I got a lot of connections to food. What's your number one thing that you sell as food wise, and what makes it unique?
Yeah, so our number one dish is the birria tacos. And birria can be done in so many ways. We like to do it with beef. You know, we do halal beef, so it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot more, just cleaner food, a cleaner way of living as well. So we try to keep our birria, to a certain level. Because a lot of the times people are like, how are you making the birria? How are you seasoning it, et cetera, et cetera. And we actually film ourselves making it. So we post that on our social media and people see it and they're just like, wow, this is the traditional way of eating birria. You can also eat it with goat meat. You can eat it with deer meat. Birria is just a type of style of food. And the way that we make it is very traditional to Jalisco, Mexico. And that's kind of what we're following. That's the tradition that we're following. But yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. I know I've got some genuine Spanish guys that work for me. Yeah. And when they eat your food, they're like, this is good food. And I got to take their advice. They're going to know better than me.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's kind of one thing that we follow. If our people love it, then I absolutely trust them, because they know seasoning in terms of our food, right? So when they're eating our food, they're just like, this is the taste that I want. So if it's not what they're eating on the regular, then they're just like, that's not it, and they won't come back. So when I have people that are from my culture eating my food and they enjoy it, then I really listen, and I'm like very thankful about that because it's just genuine.
I know that in the office, when we see you're out there with the food truck, we get so excited. Yeah. My mom will call me and be like, he's here, let's go get some food.
Oh my God. I have tons of people that reach out to us. Our social media gets blown up on the regular. I think we get about 10 to 15 people on the regular just contacting us. I get about 5 calls a day. Are we open? Are you guys here? Are you guys there? And, we try to stay open as much as we can because we're such a short staffed company. It's a little bit harder to be everywhere at once. We do a lot of events on the weekends, so that definitely keeps us out there. Like I said, I try to be out in the community. That's one of our biggest things, just being out and letting the community know about us. Because in all fairness, staying relevant is a hard thing. It goes for any industry, whether it be the music, whether it be in any company that there is, you got to stay relevant and you got to be out there in the community so nobody forgets about you. Once you start losing that relevancy, people are going to find the next best thing. And that's very unfortunate to say, but it's true. You're going to have a lot of loyal customers, but it's always to get more and more new customers, right?
What's the benefit from your side or customer side instead of going to a restaurant to go to a food truck? What would be the benefits of that?
Yeah, I like to say we kind of are very similar. It's you're talking about either corporate restaurants or you're talking about family-owned restaurants, right? Family-owned restaurants, it goes both ways. The food trucks and the family-owned restaurants, we're trying hard to stay open. We're listening to our customers. We're giving you guys what you really want. Corporate, they follow one thing and it's already worked for them. They got money coming in from so many directions so they can stay open. All these family-owned businesses, we have to really try a lot harder to stay open.
So I think it's a big one is just the connection with the community seems to be a little bit more than maybe a brick and mortar or the networking. When you say family, do you have family that works for you?
Yeah, so absolutely. So my company is only family based and we only have family working for us. I like to keep it in the family. Eventually when I grow to an extent, I want to get people that I can absolutely trust. This type of business, you're getting lots of money handed to you and you got to be able to trust your team. If you can't trust them, you're not expanding. You want to put that trust in their hands so you can keep growing.
What is a way that you guys get your beef and your chicken and stuff like that? So what makes that unique where it's coming from? Yeah,
so really where it's coming from, it's one of those like Restaurant Depot, but they tend to have that one beef called halal. And it just means that it's a lot cleaner. The way that they clean the meat, the way that they cut the meat, all that good stuff, it just means that it's cleaner. Mm-hmm. So realistically, it tastes the same as regular meat, but it's just clean in a different way. So it opens up the door for more customers. A lot of the times our customers are like, how is it prepared? How is it done? And we like to be open book, transparent, and show them that, because they want to see really, what's the process, what's going into it, especially when you have natural drinks. People say, is it really natural? How does it get this color? How does it get that color? How does it taste this sweet? How does it not taste this sweet? And we want to be completely open with them. A lot of the times, especially with our drinks, if a fruit is not in season, then we won't make the drink, because we're not going to artificially, give people that flavor. So we try to stay as organic and natural as possible.
Hey, that's good to know. Yeah, I know it's really important to my family or my wife, the organic. But I know the taste is much better. It's much healthier.
Yeah.
And so your drinks are really one of your hottest items. That's what
Yeah.
people are. I mean, it can be 120 degrees right now in Florida. It feels
Yeah.
like sometimes. So being able to have that drink
Yeah.
and something that tastes good, and it's water.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
really
So, I mean, I want to say like 90% of it is water, 3% of it is sugar, and then the rest of it is just fruit. And whether it be the horchata, whether it be the fresa, which is strawberry, watermelon, mango, passion fruit, there's so many flavors. It just, we try to make it as best as we can. That way people keep coming. And we try to follow the same recipe. My father started the recipe about 15 years ago. So, they say when generations pick it up, they change it up a little bit. I try to keep it as authentic as it was when he started it.
But that's
Man,
cool.
I love that that we were able to help you
Yeah.
in the community.
Oh my
and
God. You guys really did a lot for us, and I try to express that to you guys as much as I can. Thank you guys for how much you guys have done. Like I said, when I walked in through these doors, I said, I'm impressed by your guys' business, because you guys are always active with the community. You guys are always out there. I see your guys' trucks everywhere. I come into off the highway off of Mount Dora, and I see one of your guys' trucks right there. I don't know if somebody who lives there, somebody who works there, but I always see a truck there, and it reminds me of you guys. If I think about a roofing company, I think about you guys. So I can't express how thankful I really am for you guys, how much you guys have done for us.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool that that's what inspires me, is finding people that I can help some way.
Yeah.
And bringing them into the community. I love this community. I really wanted somewhere else to eat, or
Right.
some different kinds of foods, and we all benefit from that. So.
Absolutely. I think, especially when it's smaller businesses, the money is being rotated in these communities. I love this community myself. I live a little bit farther, but if I had the opportunity, I definitely live here. It's
I can help you with that.
Right. She really can, guys. So keep her in mind. But definitely, I love this community. Like I said, everybody's more tighter and more connected here. We use Facebook all the time to advertise for our business, and I can't express how much people reach out to us.
So you had to leave for a little while.
I did.
And then what happened with the outpouring from the community?
Yeah, so as soon as I left, guys, 100% honestly, as soon as I left, we didn't see the same amount of traffic that we did for our business. And I thought to myself, what weighs in a scale? Is it the traffic or just coming out here for an hour, right? So I'm going to get a lot of business out here, but I got to drive an hour every day. So I thought to myself, you know what? I think I'm going to sacrifice that hour a day, maybe 2, because I got to drive back. So maybe 2 hours a day to get really great with my business. And like I said, I try to grow my business as much as possible. I'm with my business 100% of the time. Sometimes my family calls me a workaholic, but I absolutely like to work, and give my businesses 100% of me. And that's what I realized in this community. I can really grow and really just expand. There's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing that brings people together more than food. I know we had the food pantry on today here, and they were able to raise an enormous amount of money. That's how tight this community is to feeding people. And that might be something to check into if you've got some leftover food. They have so many protocols for safety, in that way that food's not getting wasted. But I mean, it's really cool. I think today's all been about food for us with companies that do food.
Yeah,
but the need and the community that all plays together with food every time.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, food does tie people together. You could bring them together with a dish, and that's what I realized out here. As soon as I left, people were complaining and arguing about why did he leave? Why did you let him go? Did you guys not give him enough support? I was like, no, it wasn't that. You guys are amazing, and we absolutely loved it out here. But it was just the amount of people we had, really helping us out.
What first brought you, because I saw you in downtown Tavares the very first time. I saw like a pop-up or something online, and then I was down there and I saw you guys, and then I saw you again somewhere else. Like, what made you think, let me try Tavares?
Right, so that's a great question. We used to go to a lot of small community events, and there happened to be this one lady. I can't remember her name now, but she invited us out to Tavares. She's just like, I'm gonna have this street event. You guys are more than welcome to come out here and vend. Last minute, I think it was 24 hours before the event was canceled. She called us up, and she's just like, "Hey, the event was canceled. We're so sorry. They're not gonna do it anymore." So she knew that we had prepped everything, and she's just like, but if you guys want, you guys are more than welcome to just come outside our restaurant and just set up and see how it goes. Okay, so we were there. We were here in Tavares, and we were like, all right, well, let's see how it goes, It started off pretty slow, but I remember this one thing. Like I said, I'm from Maui, and everybody's very connected out there. I remember this one thing. I said to myself, let me go and check on the Facebook groups. Word of mouth, Tavares this, Tavares that. All those groups, I started advertising, and I want to say in less than an hour, we had about 200 people outside of our stand.
Holy crap.
That blew my mind. That right there was just like, wow, this could be a choice for us to
I
come out
thought
here.
you were coming. There was like an empty restaurant behind where you parked, and I was
Right.
like, oh my God, are they moving in there? I was so excited.
Yeah, everybody kept asking us that, and I mean, that kind of opened the eyes of maybe that'll be a possibility for us. Somebody ended up renting it, but
Yep.
it's definitely a great area to go and visit. It's nice out there. I like it a lot.
You know what I love the best about the Spanish community? So we have a lot of Spanish guys that work for us. They work really hard.
Yeah.
But when it comes to lunchtime, this is the coolest part. They all kind of sit together. And what I love is each one brings a different meal that contributes.
Yeah.
So like one might bring the chicken or the beef, and one might bring the rice, and then one will bring a way to put it all together.
Yeah.
And it's like all the wives work together.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like in my own life, it was a lesson for me. Like, and I think a lot of us here can really learn from the Spanish community of how family oriented they are.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, too, they might have a day where they're not happy with each other, but they're going to go home at night and they're going to eat together.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say, in general, Florida's pretty diverse, and I've noticed that as well in the Spanish community. I've seen all walks of Spanish, all walks of Mexico, Guatemala, et cetera, et cetera. And coming from Hawaii, we do have diversity, but we don't have much of my culture there. And when I moved out here, I realized how much more of my culture is here. Mm-hmm. And I was able to experience all these different, I want to say Hispanic, Latin culture, and able to see, how much diversity there is. So it is really nice to be able to see how everybody is connected. And that's what I enjoy about Florida, really.
Well, we have that on some Fridays. I know Patrick was there one Friday, but the guys, I would say maybe twice a month, they'll all literally, these guys worked in the heat all day long. They get done at 5 o'clock. They got a huge area where they cook at our shop.
Yeah.
And they've got a table. They set it all up, and they start cooking.
Yeah, so the Florida heat is no joke, guys, all right? I want to say that real quick. So definitely, I want to say Fridays, for any of our culture, it's a big thing. I could say even back home, I remember everybody, our tradition is that after work on Fridays, everybody would go to the beach, chill out, grab a beer, grab some steaks, and just cook out and watch that sunset come down. And you'll see these guys parked right after work. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, and everybody just wants to chill out on Fridays. And just
they
relax.
get together, they laugh. I think it's they cook.
Yeah.
And to me, it's really important to stop in there and spend some time with them.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you start eating the food, it's so good.
Yeah.
But to see them more outside of work, as that community that they are, and we really want to bring that to our community and to our workplace, which is we're really helping the community, protecting the community. And there's nothing better than you can do is to congregate at the end of the day. And it's it's not work at that point. It's a time to spend time together. The stress is gone, and we can eat and confide in each other. And that's one of my favorite things to do on a Friday is to see them guys cooking, laughing. They've got some music on. And it's just, how many workplaces do you see that on Friday? It's
Right.
really cool.
That's what I was about to mention. There's really nothing like it. When you step out of that zone where you're just working, and you really confine with your workers and your employees and really just get into that comfortable zone with them, it really sets you apart.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you mentioned, what workplace does that? And you can't go to McDonald's and you're going to sit down with your boss. You can't go work at Subway, sit down with your boss. If you're really one of these big companies, especially if you're a staple here in the community and you're doing that really genuinely hanging out with your employees, it's going to set you apart. People are going to recognize that. Even your employees are going to go out of their way and just mention that, you know, our boss does this for us. Our boss does that for us. And it really is, you know, amazing.
Now, where can we see you next? Like, where are you setting up next where we can share the viewers, like, hey, this is somewhere they're going to be. You can come try your food. Like, give us an idea.
Yeah, so right now, in the next couple of days, we're working on setting up right here on Old US Highway 441. I think that's
between Mary Road and Old 441.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
I mean, she got us, guys, so she knows exactly where we're at. We're happy to be here. Like I said, the community really loves us. So this is our, you know, our way of just being here now. And that's what we plan on doing. If the community allows it, this is us now.
Oh, we'd love to support you. Yeah. I think one of your first day grand openings, it was like, I don't know if it was Saturday, and there was a line that was insane.
That was crazy for us. I did not expect that. I really, you know, coming from a very small place, being able to communicate with my community and being with them and just seeing that here is amazing. I absolutely loved it. As soon as we told people about it, I think it was the first 100 people get free tacos. So we had everybody come out like crazy. And even then, people didn't care about the free tacos. They were just like, no, I want to order. And I'm like, let's do it. You know, I had all my family out here helping out. Everybody, I think we didn't stop the line till about like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So everybody was exhausted afterwards, but it was a blessing.
How many people you think you fed that day?
I want to say at least 300 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
We make enough food to last us 2 to 3 days at a time. We ran out in a day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much do you think you fed at our grand opening?
I want to say about 60 people.
You think?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a lot of people coming and going, which was great. You know?
Yeah.
And I was just really happy to see that. I didn't expect that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was really nice to be out there.
Yeah, we had so if anybody doesn't know, we started a new location over in the Fruitland Park, the Villages area, and we had a grand opening, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just enormous, the amount of people that showed up. And you mentioned it earlier. We had a lot of support from employees that work here, right?
God,
it's their day off. It's a Saturday, and they show up, and they bring their family. And that's what we're really trying to do is we really want to touch the family.
Yeah,
like,
I got to talk with
kids.
them. You know, when everybody was coming up to us and just asking us for products, you know, or some tacos, some corn, whatever it was, we got to talk to them. And I'm like, hey, how like working here and all that good stuff? You know, we see them all over the place, and they're like, we love it. Absolutely. That's all they say. We love it. You know, this guy or that lady takes care of us, and that's absolutely what I want to do. You know, whether it me making a relationship with somebody or a friendship, I want to know who I'm working with, you know, right. And that was a way of me confirming that I wanted to work with you guys. And whether that be with the parking, whether that be catering, anything, I was like, I'm happy to work with them. But
that's
definitely.
So cool. And thank God, because I think I changed our plans for the grand opening like 10 times.
Oh my.
And you were just like, yep, no problem. Yep, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, definitely we try to be super flexible, especially with those that extend their hand to us. We try to extend our hand to them. You know, I want to say everything's a blessing, you know, however you see it, you're either teaching somebody or being taught, you know. So you guys taught us, you know, that you got to have somebody's back and they'll have your back. You know. Yeah. But we appreciate you guys, everything you guys did to us.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the show. We love to connect with the people in the community that are making a difference. And like we said, today's just been that day about food. You can't make a bigger difference than with food.
Yeah.
And so thank you for joining our community, coming on our podcast. We always are looking for people that are making a difference. And we feel like you can do that with your opportunity that you have. And thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure being here, really.
All right,
really.
cool.